Just so you know, that video is nightmare fuel. I don't know if I should be proud or offended that this man is one of my best friends. Thank you, Dawn, for the opportunity to do this. It's kind of inspiring to sit across this room. I've been in that chair. Not too long ago, I felt like a fraud. I was in a room of other people, right, that I thought were the best photographers in the world. I aspired to be who they were, and I didn't know my work sucked. And I wasn't a full-time photographer, right? I was told I needed a real job. Right? We've been there, right? But I saw people on the stage that get there and say, you know what? I was once where you were. And that's inspiring to know that the road doesn't end where you start. That's just the step you take to get there. And I wasn't even a real photographer, right? Have we felt that? So I had to have a real job. So I had the privilege to I had the privilege to work with this man. This is my father. He was an electrician, right? And I know there's some other electricians here. And he wanted me to take over his business from me, and I wanted to be a photographer. Right? And so we came to Texas school. We went to Imaging USA. We did Summerfest. We did Kerrville. We joined our local associations. We did all the things they want you to do, right? And by 2000, we started in 2002, 2005. I said, Dad, we're not going to work for you anymore. May 31st, which would be our anniversary, we're going to quit. I'm going to quit and go full time. Okay? 15 days before that, he fell off a 22-foot roof and broke his back. Oh. And so Deanna said that's the day she saw the dream and my eyes die. Right? But I knew that I was still destined for more. Right? I knew I was designed for something else. That I could be smarter than I thought I was. I could be better than I thought I was. And that there was more for me than I could imagine. And that stuff happens at this place. That education, that growth happens in this place. And I call it will, skill, and refill. You've got a will to be in this chair. You've got a will to give up a week of your family, of your other real job. Right? Maybe giving up a week of your family isn't that tough. But you have to have that will, and you have to have skill, right? But you've got to refill that skill. Tony Cabral, how many times have I sat in the front of your room, right, trying to learn one thing? And the first time my capacity to learn was this, right? And so I got that, but I couldn't get all that Tony had taught. So I had to see Tony again, right? And then I could get a little more. I had to keep refilling. That's why we keep coming back, right? And now I know all of Tony's jokes and where they are in his presentation. And Zig Ziglar said, in times of change, the learner shall inherit the earth, but the learned finds himself well equipped for a world that no longer exists. Thank goodness nothing's changing. Which one do you want to be? You want to be prepared, or you want to be left behind? If you're in this room, I guarantee you are becoming prepared. You're fulfilling your design purpose to be something more. And then you have moments like this. With a mentor that came up to us, we don't live too far apart. We had a booth at this thing called Holiday Happening. That's how we built our business, was church fairs and trade shows and all these things, so we could be in front of paper. This was the infant stage of social media and the internet, right? Didn't even know what the Facebook was. Thanks. Older people got it. Thank you. So we had this booth set up, and we thought we were pretty good. We had like spot color and everything. And Don Dickson walked up to us. We didn't know who he was. He goes, "Hey, you ever heard of Texas School?" And we're like, "Is it free?" He goes, nope. But he said, I'm in the area. He was there with his wife. I'm in the area. I'd love for you to come and tell you all about it. So we started coming to Texas School Penning, right? And then 5 years later, this man's given me a master's award with my father. So here's my encouragement to you. That's a great story, Chris, but how do I do that? What do I do? So I want to say be the C+ student, and I excelled at this. I excelled at being a C+ student, but I'm not talking about C's as far as the grades you may receive on your English paper or your math homework, right? I'm talking about having a choice. This C is a choice, and you have every day, every moment, every second to make a choice. It's going to be positive. So here's what I think C+ students are. C+ students will rather create than complain. They're going to create a solution to their problem instead of complain about it. The C+ student is clear and not confused on the direction they want to go. Clarity is a very, very powerful tool. There's something inside you right now. There's a device inside you right now that says there's something else out there for me. Right? That's clear. The C+ student will contribute and not consume. I'm so happy to stand in front of you and see that this body of people put in almost $50,000, right, to Texas school charities. Right? That is contributing, right? C+ students are compassionate and not condescending. And I will tell you, on the last Thursday night of Texas school, that's hard to be there. We get a little punchy, don't we? We get a little punchy, and then you see whatever we just saw. And I want you to know I made a choice to not be condescending to Robin, but have a whole lot of compassion for Jennifer. A C+ student is content and not comparative. Comparisons are going to do two things. For one, they're going to rob you of your joy. And it's going to either make you feel superior to your next to, or it's going to make you feel inferior. Guess what? Their journey is not your journey. Their road's not your road. Their purpose is not your purpose. Comparisons rob us of our joy. But that doesn't mean we stay where we are. It doesn't mean we're not curious and not complacent. What's out there for me? What's next? Right? What can I learn? Right? Texas School is a great place to be curious. This is your week to fail. Right? Right? Better to fail here than in front of the paying client. Yes? Right? This is your week to do that. And a C+ student is courageous and not cowardice. They are confident but not conceited. Right? There's a confidence in you that you can grow, you can get better, you can set out the plans that you have for yourself and your families and your community. And be assured that people that don't have the confidence you do will see you as conceited, right? Or arrogant, but you can understand that confidence is what's going to carry you forward. I think you should conquer and not concede. Say that right? And this doesn't mean, dang it, I'm just going to run over people. If it's legal, moral, and ethical, I think you should do whatever you can do to achieve your purpose that you've been designed for. And finally, probably one of the most difficult ones is we make our decisions on our convictions and not the convenience of the moment. Right? Your decisions you make have to be on your convictions and not the convenience of the moment if you want to continue to grow in this craft and in your life. So really, what does this all come down to? It all comes down to having character. Right? Talent can take you to a place where character will not sustain you. Lance Armstrong, Richard Nixon, right? Tiger Woods, talent off the charts, right? And they go leap and bounds. There's probably photographers we could put on that list. Goes leaps and bounds by their talent, and they get to a place that we aspire them, and we want to be them, and we envy them. But they're built there on talent alone, and not this, right? And they can't sustain it because they don't have the character to keep them there. And the fall is great, and the fall is mighty, and it's painful. You can recover from it. You can recover, but it's tough, right? Because your success is all going to be based upon your trust, your integrity, and your character. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That's a lesson I learned from my dad. And if you're in the contracting business, that's a rare trait. Right? I'll be there between 12 and noon in the next 3 weeks. So how do we do this, right? That's my charge to you, and it's continue to stay focused. And I think we can stay focused with one word. This is all I have to do, and it's gratitude. It's gratitude. I'm grateful for the lessons my father taught me. Even though when I was a kid or a teenager, he could do no right. Right? And then you learn as an adult that really he wasn't as smart and as stupid as you thought he might be. Right? Or dumb, smart, and stupid. See? Right. He was smarter than you thought he was. Right? We understand that. And there's more behind that tough exterior. Right. But a heart of gratitude. Larry Lorsey's a great photographer in the area, and he's done the one project. I know Don's done that. I think Greg's done it. Some other people in this room may have participated with Larry in that. He said, Chris, I want to do this one project with you. What are you going to bring? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, it's not your camera. It's not what you do. It's who helped craft you. Right? What is one thing that you remember as part of being who you are? Right? I can't bring my parents there. But I brought this little ceramic bunny. My grandmother was a china painter and an oil painter. And I spent many a time in her studio as a young man watching her paint. She taught lessons. Fun story, Deanna's grandmother actually took lessons from my grandmother at the retirement center, how to learn how to paint. Right? And so I'm on her floor, and she would let me paint. And this is one I painted when I was 6 years old. It's not perfect, right? But it's special. And one day I was going to my grandmother's house, and my parents had bought me a Dukes of Hazzard coloring book. Man, was I on cloud nine, right? I had all the colors for the General Lee, and of course Daisy Duke and all that stuff, right? That's the first page you're going to. Yeah, I learned that in the Texas school video. And my grandmother goes, Chris, what is that? And I said, it's a coloring book. And she takes it from my hand and says, you can't use this. Really? Why not? She goes, son, if I let you color in this book, you're going to draw what someone expects you to create. Here's a piece of paper. Now draw. You don't realize it at the time. There's power. Everyone in this room, you are not your instructor. You are not your wrangler. The students in my class were not designed to become other Cris Duncans. God knows we don't need more of those. Right? But you do have a purpose for your family and for your community. Right? So do what feels good here and here. And the people will come. The people will come because people are attracted to what you are. You want quality, become quality. You want integrity, become integrity. Right? So with the heart of gratitude for this school and for the country we live in, we are so blessed. If you make $15,000 a year, you're one of the richest people in the world. Right? We are blessed beyond measure to be in this spot at this time for such a time as this. Because you're going to leave those doors in a few minutes, and you're going to have that desire to sleep. Some of you are asleep right now. But remember that device inside you that you hear, don't ignore it. It's powerful, and it will propel you to the place you want to go. Thank you so much. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Chris. You know, he said it so well. You know, you've invested in this week. Just go home and do what you've been asked to do this week. I mean, it's there. You've got the ability now. You've got the education, and let's wrap this up.